this video in the opening series, I want to point out one of the absolute best possible openers you'll ever see. And the reason this is an amazing opener is that most of the time when you open, you have to give your power away. With this opener, you don't. With this opener, actually, you're setting a frame and taking a position of power from the very first second. So it's absolutely an ideal opener when the situation arises. But that's the problem with this opener is the when the situation arises. It's not one that's universal. It's not one you can always do. What I'm talking about in this case is the situational tease. And what I mean here is the girl's actually actively doing something and you make fun of her for it, right? Now what this requires, of course, is for her to actually be taking some kind of action that you can make fun of, or a lot of times if she's already had some kind of interaction with you. If you happen to like make eye contact, then she did something you can tease her about, right? But it isn't something you can create out of nothing. And that's what the distinction between this one and what we talked about in the previous opening series video, which was the observational opener. An observational opener you can do on any girl anytime because you just have to go there and observe something. For the situational tease, there actually has to be either an interaction or some kind of acknowledgement between you, or she's actually actively doing something, because otherwise there's nothing to make fun of. But when you do go in and you do have that tease from the get-go, it's completely non-needy. It's not about her in the sense of, oh, let me find out about you. It's taking on a positive frame. And that's actually one of the key skills you need to have for this opener, is how to take on a positive frame and what are some positive frames, right? So let's think about what are some positive frames. Positive frame is she's likes you or she's hitting on you. Positive frame is she's lost and you're helping her out. Positive frame is you're just helping her have a little bit of a better day, things like that, right? So say that, you know, some examples of where this might come up. Say that the girl's like on her phone doing some kind of weird selfie stuff, be like, oh my God, be careful. Everybody here is looking at you and think you're a tourist right now, right? You noticed something, you made fun of it, that sort of thing. Or let's say like you happen to make eye contact and the girl accidentally gave you some kind of weird look or whatever, be like, no, it's okay to smile, you know, the world's not that bad of a place, right? That kind of thing where you're taking on a positive sort of a frame, a leadership frame, something like that's very positive. Or the example I'm going to give you at the end of this, basically the girl's kind of standing funny, and what I do is I like mimic like the way she's standing, and that becomes the situational tease in the particular case I'm going to show you, right? But it requires her doing something. And then again, I'm taking on the frame of high value guy, I'm taking on the frame of I'm teasing you, I'm helping you to be a little normal, right? Like she's a little weird, I'm helping her be a little bit normal. And the beautiful thing again here is that you are coming from purely a position of value, which is so rare to have be the case on the open, right? So again, the skills here that you're gonna wanna have are a few. First skill is knowing what proper frames are. So a good exercise that you could do is think to yourself, what are the frames you would like to have in an interaction, right? You're high value, she's hitting on you, you're the popular guy, you're the guy who knows what's going on and she's lost, all these kind of things. There's also some other fun ones like she's your ex-girlfriend. There's fun frames like that you could take on. But think about what are these fun frames you could play with. Now obviously, you're gonna have to figure this out in the moment. So it's not something that you can pre-plan entirely, but you can kind of have pre-planned in the right direction. And the good thing about practicing these frames is it's not just gonna help you on the open, it's gonna help you throughout the entire interaction. So it's just a good exercise to have done for game in general to understand what these frames are. But understand you're gonna come in with these frames. For example, if you did a situational tease from the wrong frame, it wouldn't work, right? So if you did a situational tease about how she's like so bitchy and beautiful and like out of everybody's league, that's doing the opposite of what you're trying to do. It follows the format of situational tease, but it's putting you again in that low value position. The reason this is good is because she is already doing something a little weird or doing something that she might feel silly doing, it automatically gives you that impetus to be able to take the high value role. Okay, so that's the first skill you need to learn is what are those high value roles and how can you take them on. You should be practicing that not just on the open, but throughout the entire interaction. The other interesting skill that you want to like take on, and this is kind of a subtle skill, is you want to learn the skill of pre-engaging with girls, right? So you want to learn the skill of if you're walking by, like kind of like getting the habit of making some eye contact and catching their eye, right? And that's just something you're going to practice by just doing it for the most part. Or for example, other things you can do along these lines, or you can do things to draw attention to yourself, right? So for example, if you see a girl and you happen to like clap like this, there's a good chance she's going to look at you, and now you've created an opportunity for some eye contact, engagement, and where she's going to have some kind of a reaction. So there are certain things that you can do, like sort of pre-approach, to get her to engage. They aren't going to work 100% of the time, right? If there's girls facing the bar, facing away from you, there's very little you can do to get some kind of pre-approach engagement in that situation, so you're probably going to have to go with a different style of opener. But there are a lot of situations where you will be able to create this, and if you can, that'll be positive, right? In a nightclub even, you could accidentally bump into them in order to create this sort of opener. So there's all kinds of little things you can do, and these are kind of like veteran moves that you'll kind of learn over time, because you'll probably do it once by accident, and they'll be like, oh, that was a good move, I can repeat it. So that's the second skill, is how to create engagement pre-open, right? So frame control is skill number 1, engagement pre-open is skill number 2. And the point of this, again, you're going to use this tease to set a positive frame. If you use the tease instead of a negative frame or a frame of low value, you've undermined yourself, and you may as well have just done a direct opener or done some other kind of opener that gives your power away. So again, very positive opener when you can do it. It requires spontaneity. It requires you being in the moment. It requires you like being ready with a frame. It requires a little bit of veteran ability. But it is one of the most positive and useful opens you can possibly have. It's not going to work every time, but when it does work, it's going to be really, really good, as you're going to see in the example right here. I'm sorry, I can't help but like...
I'm waiting for my sister.
I don't know, it's just funny. Like, you just look like I don't know, you look like it's like the third person that comes by I'm going to kill. Just whip out like some like throwing star and just... I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, if you want to kill family, that's either she's done something very wrong or you're more evil than you look.
No, they're just shopping, and I don't like that.
Wait, I met a girl that doesn't like shopping. I think I'm in love.
Yeah?
I'm kidding.
When are we getting married?
Huh? When are we getting married? Wow, that's fast. I mean, we could try and get a flight to Vegas. But here's the thing. If you bore me along the flight, I'm canceling it. So you have to keep me entertained for at least 4 hours.
Okay.
Fair?